bags are packed, are you ready to go? This time tomorrow we'll be on the road, riding with you in the sunnier days. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Children of Éarte. We're so excited to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us. And as usual, we will start by kicking it over to Adam to talk about our sponsors.
We have our incredible sponsors. Thank you, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. You can find an Electrum chest code on the overlay or in chat. Thank you so much for the support. We have Die Hard Dice. You can go to dieharddice.com and use the code Éarte to get 10% off your order. We are also going to be giving away a $20 off promo code that you can win that you can use on that order. I think you can use the code and the promo thing. So get all the interactions going to get the best price that you can there with dieharddice.com. We've got a new list starting here tonight. I'm starting, people are just sending me lists all the time now. So thank you for that.
That's amazing.
It takes one thing off my plate that I don't have to think about. I'm pretty busy, so that's much appreciated. So so for tonight, we're going to go through a new list that has alliteration. This isn't always, like even tonight's is not, it's like a dual alliteration thing. So here we go. So Die Hard has gifted our cast with Alicia Marie's All-Seeing Marvels. So Alicia Marie's All-Seeing Marvels. So it's
I'm writing that down. That's a good one.
A-M-A-N. This credit is to @TallHalfling. I don't know where that username is, but this was sent on Twitter. So thank you, @TallHalfling. We're going to go through another list, and this time instead of characters, it's going to be player related. So, there we go.
How tall is a tall halfling, I wonder?
I don't know. Is that four
shorter than a short giant?
Yeah. So that's it. So thank you very much for that. And thank you, Die Hard Dice, for all of the support throughout our show so far. And we also have our friends at Tailspire, this incredible 3D virtual tabletop, an environment that you can use to play games and do some wonderful visualizations out there. We're going to be giving away some Steam product keys there tonight as well. So pay attention to the prompts in chat. And finally, tonight, you'll hear the dulcet tones of Sirenscape because epic games need epic sound. I am Adam Bradford, the CDO at Demiplane. So much going on. I'm also battling. I feel wonderful. I want to clarify here. I feel completely wonderful, but I'm in this like allergy, like throat tickly phase here. And
East
so,
Coast.
Same. I have itchy eyes.
It's just like, Death Valley where I am is what they call it. It's not the real Death Valley, but it's like, it's because of all the fog of pollen that is everywhere. We can't escape.
Is that like fog of war?
Yeah.
Fog of pollen. That's the spore druid equivalent.
It's something like that, and it gets to me. But so if I descend into a coughing fit, I'm going to do my best to mute. But if I don't, we're just going to act like Silas has got to be sick with some kind of allergies in this wild place that we have found ourselves.
I mean, you just crawled out of a freezing cold ocean.
That's it. It's all part of the
You don't all have colds. I don't know.
I am playing Silas Sorrell. You're magically. Oh wait. Well, it is magically. I think magically, dimensionally displaced magical superfan.
I love it. Hey everybody, I'm Alicia Marie. You can find me everywhere on socials at Alicia Everybody. I am a costume artist, professional, and RPG performer. And on Monday nights, you can find me over at the C&E Games channel playing A Familiar Quest, where I get to play my actual familiar that is playable and purchasable in Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. And of course, on Tuesday nights, I am here playing the wonderful Miss Fairuza Armstrong, attorney at law.
Hello, I am Jen Kretchmer. You can find me on socials as @DreamWisp. You can find me streaming on Twitch as DreamWispJen. I do all of the things. Find out on socials about what the next upcoming thing is. Thing du jour. But tonight I am playing your friendly neighborhood troublemaker, Maeve Morgan Flynn.
Hi, I'm Lauren Urban. I'm the content manager over at Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, which gets a lot of love here, and it makes me happy every single time. You can find me on the socials as Obo Lauren, and tonight I'm playing Carolyn Neb Stern, who is itchy.
Antihistamines for all tonight.
Itchy is
Yeah,
easy.
for everyone.
Oh
Even
my
I'm
goodness.
feeling it. Hi, I'm Hope LaVelle. You can follow me on Twitter at the Hope LaVelle. You can watch me be a dungeon master on Misfits of Alceta every Wednesday. And tomorrow we have a very special guest, Mr. B. Dave Walters, will be playing with us. So don't miss it. It's gonna be really fun. But tonight I am playing your favorite granny for hire, Miss Robin Beckett.
Wonderful. And that's it, right? Hi, I'm Deborah Ann Woll. I'm your storyteller for this evening. I am currently in a play in Washington, D.C. So if you are in the D.C. area and would like to come to Arena Stage, we're doing Angels in America. My favorite quote about it is, "This is not your grandmother's Angels in America." It is a very,
Oh, boy.
a very interesting take on it. So yeah, come and check us out. We're having a
I think
great
Miss
time.
Robin would like it.
Yeah, I'm sure she would. It is this grandmother's Angels in America.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you know. So tonight, however, this is, I want to say thank you to the players. Thank you to Josh, everyone at home. Get cozy and settle in for the 42nd chapter of Children of Éarte.
Life, the universe, and everything.
That is right. That is right. The answer to all. So last time you had escaped the rough waters of the Sea Lab. You had found a new friend in Pivum Bandicoot, who brought you to a hidden little haven where he told you a bit of a story about this world, this place, the Vale, as well as other worlds that existed, and the mystical land of Éarte, from which he believes you all were called, I would say. He doesn't know much about what's going on. He himself has been stuck here in the Vale for a long time. You all rested up, thought a little bit about what's going on, and decided to get back to the train and insert the shard, the shard that you found in the shipwreck. Just as you stepped through that room, Pivum himself could feel the power of this place. It was a little bit scary. And as Maeve, you placed the shard into the mirror and it was grabbed magnetically. You saw Ivy's face appear as she gives a bit of a smile as she sees your faces looking back at her.
Ivy, this is Pivum. Pivum, this is Ivy. I don't know if the two of you know each other, but you know, new
She
people.
cranes up to the top of the mirror to try to look down far enough to see Pivum as he stands. He's right by your leg, Neb, kind of clutching a little bit close to you, not wanting to, looking under the bed and under the tables into the shadows.
Pivum, I don't. I'm guessing you don't know who that is just by sight.
Pivum looks at you and goes, pretty lady.
I figured it was worth a double check to see if, you were known or something. I don't know.
Hey, Ivy, like if we hang out in here and ask you a few questions, is this bull-headed creep gonna attack us?
You see her kind of
So what, we
finger
gotta
to
whisper
her
the
lips.
questions?
And she tries to peer around and is just
So basically you're telling us we can't stay in here for like 2 hours asking questions. Are you a scribe?
Her eyes widen a bit. She shakes her head, no.
Do you know what a scribe is? Our little buddy Pivum here, he told us about what Éarte actually is. And so we know about the scribes. We know at least a little bit about rulers. Are you a ruler?
She puts her hands on the glass behind you, looking through, her eyes wide at you, and nods her head.
You're a ruler. Ivy, you are a ruler. Yes.
She begins to bang.
I want to see if I can figure out how. Can I pick up on any cues, any expressions, any
Insight?
Yes, just how
may.
she's responding to this.
Yes.
Um,
Do you want me to roll it, or do you want to roll it?
Sure, you can roll it.
What's your bonus?
It's a +1 on insight.
Okay. She seems excited. She seems surprised. One thing you're getting off of her is desperation. She's almost, you can even see maybe like a vein in her neck is pumping. Her heart is pumping fast as she answers these questions.
So listen, Ivy, we heard from Pivum, for the most part, you rulers suck. And so, do you suck?
Back. She shakes her head, a little confused.
Suck is like a term that means that you're terrible. No, like, it's not my words.
Ignore that. Did one of the other rulers push you in there?
Shakes
No.
her head no.
Are they keeping you in there? No.
Is the bull a ruler?
Oh gosh. Okay.
But the bull didn't put you in there.
Do you guys know how many rulers there are? Did Pivot say how many? 4.
So
And
we've got 2 of them here?
You're one.
Yeah.
But we also know that Lorelia has a ruler, and I'm assuming, Pivum, that it's not a bull-headed creature, and it's not the creature that you're seeing in the mirror.
Pivum says, no, Zola looks like the land. She looks like the swamp. She looks
So
like the
that's
mountains.
3 out of 4.
So we need one more.
Wait, ask which element they are.
I think you just did.
Which element are you?
Are you? Are you fire?
Oh.
Are you water?
She's
I
Earth.
see you, she says.
Wind.
Heart.
Air. We're going through them all. Water? Oh.
Rain.
Rain. Yeah.
Okay.
Storm.
So is the third ruler, if you're here and the bull is one, is the third one here as well? On the train?
No.
Outside?
Here in
Around?
The Vale?
in
The
this.
veil.
Are the rulers in the Vale, or are they on the Vale? In the Vale.
They're in the veil.
All of them are here.
Is Zola in the Vale?
Oh. So many O's here.
Is that why you're
Was
concerned
Julian?
about?
Oh, go ahead.
Is that why you're concerned about getting out? Because we were told you're all needed to keep balance, or else everything falls apart. That's why.
You're dying?
They're trying to kill you.
So
You're all trying to kill each other.
You're
because
trying to
Carolyn
kill
has all
them?
the power.
Was Julian one of the rulers? No.
You fell in love with a mortal?
Julian was a scribe.
Okay.
Now I guess this is making sense. Oh,
Is
there's a lot
Julian
going
still
on.
He
alive?
definitely was a servant. She doesn't know what to see this. Okay.
Is the bull fire?
No, she points to Silas. To Fairuza, she says,
Was Stephen a servant? She doesn't know him as Stephen.
Is the giant stone statue the servant? Are the pocket watches related to the 4 rulers?
Do you need them? Because they're broken.
Oh.
Sorry, that's Deb laughing.
Consumable.
That was a break. Don't break, Deborah.
Oh.
She hears they're broken. She places her hands on the glass.
It's bad.
So
Bad
that's
news.
not a good thing. Are the pocket watches broken? I thought just Steve was.
Were they consumable?
No, everything.
They
got-
were on Steve, and everything got smashed.
Oh, okay.
But Robin, you have them all, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Is
so.
the bowl is fire? Is the fire?
That makes sense. The ghoul is
No, the
The
bull.
bowl.
The bull.
the bull.
bull
Sorry.
headed. Yeah.
Ghoul, the bull. I mean, the ghoul. Yeah, I don't know. Okay.
So if I is the water ruler, the bull is the fire ruler.
Yeah.
Zola is the earth ruler.
Mhm.
Who is the wind ruler? Gloria.
She puts her hands way up in the sky.
Do we know anyone that's giant? Don't look at me. I'm no ruler.
And she places her hand across her face and ducks down, and then ducks back up.
There.
Oh, the giant squid creature. No.
No, I think it's somewhat. They're somewhere in the air, high above us.
We still haven't met them yet.
Hmm.
He doesn't know.
I mean, it sounds like they're hidden, or else we'd know who they are.
Who are the animals loyal to?
She struggles with how to communicate an answer to that.
Are the animals more loyal to one ruler than another?
Hmm.
The animals belong to the Vale. They have.
Did you create the animals?
She goes 2, 1, 3.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think we're definitely getting into questions that are going to need more than a yes or no. But this has been great. This is a lot of information that we needed confirmation of. So thank you.
She does press against, and you see her try to mouth as clearly as she can.
Go ahead. Help.
All right, but you guys huddle. What if this is a trap?
Yeah,
The
that's what I'm
rulers-
thinking.
I know.
Pivum,
Wait.
didn't you say that
No,
they've got to be trapped?
Pivum,
they have to be returned to their realms.
Pivum looks absolutely stunned. I mean, this is as if he had
We just
stumbled upon freaking Sleeping Beauty in the woods. I mean, he is like, mouth is wide open. He looks, he says, I don't like anything about this. She's claiming to be a creature from a story, and yes, we believe, but why is she here? He seems totally flabbergasted by this.
Hey,
Pivum,
Pivum,
How
I'm going to need
could
you to pull
one-
yourself together here.
How could one
Yes.
trap a ruler?
There's a whole bunch of questions that we don't know the answers to. Just because we got a bunch right now. You're right. We're still figuring all of this out. But at 2:13 in the morning, we get a moment in where we can actually talk with Ivy before something shows up to stop us. So
Before the other bull fire ruler shows up.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah.
very clear here, Pivum.
So we can definitely try to get some more of those answers. But now you see what we've been trying to do this whole time.
He looks like his eyes glisten with tears. He doesn't know whether to believe it or not. You know, he will walk out of that room. I know, Silas, you're standing 1 foot in, 1 out, right?
Yes.
If he's gonna try to move just right through your legs.
Pivum, like, hey, it's fine that you're moving. I just want to ask you a question because I think it was a D word, but I can't remember what the D word was. You said that for these 4 rulers, it wasn't like depose them or destroy them. It was something else.
He
like
turns on you. You see tears streaming down his face. He says, defeat.
defeat.
The
Okay,
story says to defeat.
excellent.
I know not what this means. All I know is that we are dealing with forces far beyond our abilities. He looks and he says, I have spent my entire life searching for Éarte, searching to save our realms. If this is an opportunity to do so, then all I can do is thank the gods. But we must be sure.
Hey, I'm with you
The
there. That's what
rulers
we're
are
trying to do.
dangerous creatures.
Well, the bow certainly is.
Well, I mean, Ivy might be as well as soon as we release her. And
Yeah,
honestly,
it's making me nervous now.
Perhaps we should go outside.
all
Find a
right,
place
sorry,
to sit
Ivy.
down, have a conversation.
She presses her face against the glass and waves as she watches each of you leave the room.
I am going to. So Silas is going to see, because he has made a connection with the mind of a creature before.
Yes.
He is going to see if through the mirror he can connect mentally to Ivy, and I am trying to read
It's
her
dangerous,
surface thoughts.
Be careful, Silas doing that stuff.
Oh, you don't know he's doing this. He doesn't say this out loud, obviously. Yeah,
This
so
is just Silas.
he is trying to connect and detect surface thoughts, and the surface thought, if a connection can be made, because it's within 120 feet, if I'm, let's see, sorry, no, 30 feet.
I believe I looked this up at some point, but
And if it has an intelligence over 3, I'm assuming that's the case, but I can learn the surface thoughts of the creature, what's most on its mind in that moment, if I can make the connection. Now, if I go deeper than that, it gets a save.
right. Okay, I'm checking.
Whether or not this works, that's a cool idea.
I do. Maybe we didn't think of it before.
I don't know
Well,
if
I mean, I
Silas...
wanted to see what she had to say first.
I'm gonna rule that it is interesting to you that even just surface thoughts, you get nothing. It's almost like as you reach out for her mind, boom, there's like a brick wall that
Firewall.
bounces back. It's like you feel the echo of your own question bounce back at you.
And as if anyone happens to see Silas at the door as he's,
Yes.
he kind of like when he starts doing this, you've been noticing more and more that he's been kind of just like scratching his like beard, and then sometimes his like fingers on his temple. And so as that happens, as that rebound effect happens, it's almost like you see like an incredibly blurry, silvered and not like colored at all version of Silas's head, almost like come out the back of his head for just like a split second, and then it like snaps back inside his head. And then he looks a little shook for just a second, and then he's like, all right, are we going to go have that conversation?
Kivim has sort of stormed off down the car, and you already see he stepped down into the snow just outside, not on the ocean side but on the mountain side, and is just sort of standing there in the wind, in the dark, silently crying.
I'm gonna follow, but I'll stop at the door before I get to him, and just quietly say, "You need a moment, or you need a friend?"
He turns around and looks at you. He says, "This is all I've ever wanted. My whole life I've dreamed of this very moment, meeting a ruler, hearing that the stories are true. I just thought it would mean something else to me. I thought it would fix something, but I only have more questions. Do you know what I mean?"
I think so. I think I've been so excited about those questions that I haven't thought it's a bad thing, but if you've been on this journey way longer than we have...
These are my people. my brothers, my sisters, my parents, my children. We are at risk. I've set myself to save them.
You know, Pivam,
And-
like you really just don't know how this stuff is going to shake out, though, because my entire life I wanted to meet Michael Jordan, and back in '93, I actually got to meet him because he retired from basketball, and then he started playing baseball for like a year or two, and I actually caught a baseball game and I saw him, and when I met him, I spoke to him. And he like was kind, but he was kind of a little dismissive because, you know, at the time, like I didn't realize it, but I think he probably just, you know, wanted to get back to the bus or whatever it was. And I remember being just crushed that this thing that I'd wanted my entire life didn't work out and turn out the way that I expected it to.
That you understand. Was this Michael Jordan a god?
Yeah, I mean, about
Yes.
as close as we had on Éarte.
Then
and
you
so-
understand. You understand
exactly,
what it is
but-
to meet these
But this is the
heroes.
important part, Pivam.
Yes.
Okay, because that was like a low point for me. I met him. It didn't go the way that I wanted it to. It was unexpected. But then the year after that, he returned to basketball and they won 3 more championships, cementing his place as the greatest basketball player that has ever lived. So
Wow.
basically he became, a deity pretty much, or at least the GOAT. He became that after even my bubble was burst like that.
So you are saying to me that if I continue to believe this queen, this ruler, she will pull through in the end.
Yes, Pivam. That's what I'm saying.
I think the other thing that you should take heart in is that you're part of this story. This isn't the end of it. This is just the middle, the beginning. I'm not sure, but like there's more to come, and now we know a lot more because of you, and we're so much further than we were even just 10 days ago. So
If I have learned anything, it's that stories have no beginnings or ends. All of our stories just keep going.
well, I'm glad that you're going with us then.
He sort of shakes off his shoulders a little, wipes the tears off of his face, fixes his hat, brushes his beard out. I would do the voice, except I'm saving my voice for the for the play. I'm so sorry, everyone at home. I can't
Don't
do a
apologize.
gruff
Important
gnome
you take
voice.
care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's gonna sound
Way
like
more important.
he brushes the tears, strokes his beard, adjusts his little blue hat, looks to you and he says, "All right. I don't know if I trust her. She is a ruler after all. But I think I trust you."
You trust
You know-
us.
Yeah. And I think it's fair to be a little cautious when we don't know a lot, but I think I trust her too, at least that everything she's told us has been true. Whether or not once she gets out of that mirror that things are going to be good, bad, if there's going to be more going on, that's we'll figure that out once we get there. But for now, we have to decide what questions are we going to ask, or what question are we going to ask when we've
One
been
more,
given a
maybe.
chance. Yeah.
Championships lie ahead, Pivam. I'm telling you.
The ships of champions.
Or the
That's it.
trains of champions.
Well, he says, I have yet to prove myself worthy of a champion, but I dream to one day for there to be stories of me, of Pivam Bandicoot, and what he did to save Larilia.
Well, I don't know about the rest of us, but I'm pretty sure Silas is going to be telling stories about you for a long time.
I got you, Crash.
I
He
love
looks
it.
quite a bit more chipper.
Mhm.
And again, like a little penguin kind of waddles back over towards you, hops up on the train. So you all, again, you all know how to start up this train. It's going to take about 4 hours to do so. we'll say you've learned from your previous mistakes, so we will make you roll for it. You're very careful as you go around. It just takes a little bit of time to get it going, but that'll get your lights going, your
Yeah.
water going, the train able to run if you would like to run it. Probably those 4 hours will take you to midnight.
Okay.
And during that time, if you want to check in or you want to talk and figure out your questions before 2:13 comes along,
Yeah.
have at it, my loves.
Okay, so I know that there's a bunch of questions that we're going to have. I still think it's good for us to focus on one that we think needs like a meaty answer, a good chunky answer.
Why don't we put all of our questions out and then we could decide what's priority?
Yeah.
Perhaps. That way we have all of the questions that people want to ask, and then for future sessions, perhaps, if we have
That's
other
good.
opportunities to ask, we can.
And just to set the agenda for the whole meeting here, you know, we definitely need to that prioritized list of questions. That's fantastic. For the last part of the meeting, we should discuss our exit strategy.
Agreed.
To make sure that we are, you know, because we don't actually know if Fire Lord, if the Fire Lord is going to be able, like, where it can go on the train, you know, that kind of thing. So I think we established probably it can't leave the train. So just, you know,
It
we need to
seems
talk
not
through.
to be able to leave the car. The last
Yeah,
time.
potentially. So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we can GTFO when that time comes too.
Okay, questions. Who
Yeah.
trapped her in the mirror?
That was mine. That's mine. Good. That's a good one.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
feels like a question that needs more than a
Yeah.
yes or no answer.
Yeah.
What happened to Julian?
Okay.
Now, did anybody else catch that? Because again, I know this is a little ambiguous, but when we asked if Julian was still alive, it was like a shrug, like I don't know, right? Did I see that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What I
That's
got.
why I'm wondering. So
I definitely already had the who trapped you one, so that feels like that's getting a lot of, you know, votes and weight there. But another one that I had that came up after our little silent conversation just then was who was the last person you killed, to just see if we, like, what kind of response we would get to that. Because just something just super nonchalant, you know, who's the last person you killed, you know, where some kind of mannerisms or something could possibly give us an idea as to whether that is a super mundane thing for her to say or if she acts horrified by it.
I like that.
I'm gonna leave that question to you to ask, Silas. I don't know
I mean,
if
that's
I could.
fine, but like it can be down the list. We might not get to it. I'm just saying that, like, I don't know if we can trust her because I tried to read her thoughts, like I have a couple of other things so far, and it was like I hit a brick wall, and so
she's potentially trapped in a different dimension.
potentially I don't know how this magic
It
works yet.
makes
I'm just
things more
saying.
difficult.
But
Yeah.
I guess all I'm saying is that had I been able to pick up on some surface thoughts, I might have had a far warmer, fuzzier feeling about her. But I certainly am not in the trust her camp at this stage.
Also, if
because-
she's a ruler, she might not take kindly to you prying around in her private thoughts.
Yeah,
Just
well,
a perspective.
I mean, sure.
How about asking her about what land she's from, since we don't know any of the other lands?
I think we should ask her what she plans to do as soon as she's out.
That's another good one.
Also, Silas, do you think that would work when she's not in the mirror for that minute?
I don't know. I'm
reading her
already
thought there?
trying it. So
Okay.
Who's the bull and where are they from?
Maybe does she know any more about the fourth ruler, where exactly they are in the Vale?
I wonder if those little sprites would know anything, or are they just here to annoy us from time to
hey,
time?
Pivum,
You know
have
what?
you ever
If
come
the-
across these little sprite things?
Oh, you see him know exactly who you're talking about. Those little good-for-nothing they steal my things. No, you just see him start to grumble as he throws things, dissolves into just like indiscernible frustration.
Yeah, if
You wanna?
if anyone's got any reservations about Ivy, then I definitely wouldn't trust anything that those snowflake things would say, even if they would talk to us.
Did anyone want to ask about the shards that have been infecting people, or the creature that we saw under the water?
I mean, I definitely think that is a great thing to ask, but possibly, I don't think we're making it that far down the list if we think that these others.
Right now, we're just putting questions out, and we haven't prioritized them yet. So I'm just putting the questions out there, and then we can figure out which ones are the priority.
I'm just wondering if the Wind Ruler is someone we've met or someone we have yet to meet.
I have a feeling it's someone we have yet to meet, or they're hiding, because so far everybody that we've been told about is like, oh, this person is a this and this person is a that. It's kind of all made sense, right? Oh, of course, but I can't think of anyone obvious that we've met who would fit that, but maybe they're also in hiding, considering what else is going on with the rulers here in the Vale. I could understand why they would be reticent to come out.
Pivum, do you have any other questions that you think might be worth asking? Since you're one of us now.
Pivum. Pivum wants to know. He says, "I'd want to know why she left people. I'd want to know what she plans to do about the imbalance.
Do you want to
Why
ask
should we
that
trust
question?
her?"
Do you want to ask that question yourself, Pivum? Or do you not want to talk to him?
He says, you're the ones that found this creature, this mirror lady. I think you are who she trusts. But that is what I am curious about.
Perhaps also who broke the mirror, because that may be different than who trapped her in the mirror.
Pivum, can you think of a question that we could ask a ruler that only a ruler would know? Because if we're concerned that she's not.
He says, this is an excellent question, but the rulers have been around for millennia. They know most things. He says, what is something only a ruler might know? He says that the problem is anything I do not know the answer to any question that might stump a ruler. He said, I thought we could ask who gave her this calling, who set her in charge of the balance of nature. But honestly, I do not know the answer to that question.
That's fair. Well, like I said, my gut still says that we should help her and that she's at least been honest with us so far. But
what about why does it cycle? Why does she go through it every night? 2:13.
Also, I was wondering if she knows how to put the servant back together.
Well, if there's only one scribe at a time, perhaps the servant is also reborn.
Perhaps she might know. That'd be nice.
What would we get Perhaps it was love, but why would you give up immortality to
That's
leave your realm?
That's assuming she had to give up anything to leave, but I think why?
Well, if you leave your realm, you give up immortality.
Oh.
What would be worth that?
I mean, she might not have left. Might have been taken against her will.
But maybe that's the question. Did you leave of your own free will, or were you taken?
And I mean, I just want to kind of throw out there that we do need to get to agenda item 2 on this, and we have more of a list.
Well,
we need to put these in order first.
Yeah.
That's
the prompt.
Hold up her notebook where she's been in much nicer handwriting than anything I could ever do. List out all of the questions that she's been writing down and say, I still think the first one we came up with, Who Trapped You in the Mirror, is probably our go-to for tonight. I think we're going to get a story out of that in 55 seconds.
It's going to answer a lot of questions. The first one.
Okay. Who Trapped You in the Mirror, followed by what is your realm?
I think finding out what happened to Julian.
What happened to Julian?
Although she did shrug, she might not know. It might be wasting a question.
When was the last time you saw Julian?
Also,
Yes?
maybe finding out more about the bull. Who exactly is the bull?
Weaknesses.
Do we want to prioritize that first?
We are ballooning.
And I think Who Trapped You in the Mirror? I really want to know. I think that's going to be more than just a name. Like I said, I think we're going to get a story, and she's going to have to tell it in 55 seconds.
But let's have just in case it's quick. Let's have some backups.
Yeah, we can have 3 or 4 for sure.
I think 3 or 4 is a good way to go.
Yeah. Okay. And just keep the rest, so we can keep these.
Okay, so Who Trapped You in the Mirror, number 1. What can you tell us about the bull? Maybe a more open-ended question than she could just...
Yeah. And maybe we can ask one of
Pivum's for him. Last one that we didn't put on the list, but I think is important. What can you tell us about Belcastle Cap?
Oh, okay.
Since we never got to find out much about it, other than we were going to be hiking in the snow on a glacier in the cold. Which sounds like the worst vacation ever, and why would anyone
I was going to say, wait
a
minute.
I still don't understand why this has appealed to anyone.
I think we were all in certain points in our lives that they knew this would answer to something, and so it worked on all of us.
Or be convinced to go. Like I said, I wasn't going to until my mom said to go.
Hey, Pivum, a question that I was going to ask last night, but we had already asked 3 dozen. So, but when we got to the bottom of the mine, we found this place that looked like it had been prepared for us. It literally had our initials on it. You ever heard anything like that in your stories?
Again, his eyes go wide. He says, well, that confirms it. You have been called to save the world. I don't know who would have called you, but this is no coincidence.
That's what I said, right?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, that's what I said. I don't know. I still think that that's a good thing.
He shrugs his shoulder, goes, it wasn't me. I know that.
Oh,
I mean, that's honestly what I was checking, just to be sure you hadn't been shadowing us and finding out our names, and then you went down into the bottom of the mine and scribbled some stuff in the stone. So it's good to know it wasn't you.
These shards have been hidden
purposefully.
Yeah.
And why now are you called to release them?
We're not.
And are those the same people?
We've never thought about that.
we've thought that perhaps there were other people who came before us who either failed or didn't actually get put from the train into the Vale.
He
But
says,
we're not
I've
sure.
been here for 3 years. I can't say I've seen any others like you.
I
Like
guess
us? In general, like us, or anyone?
Children
Like
of
us.
Éarte.
Have you ever seen anyone else that wasn't from Éarte?
He thinks I believe so. I am not very familiar with the other world, but there are creatures here. I don't always know if they are like me and yourself and from another world, or if they are infected.
I mean, did they appear humanoid? Like, did they have conversations, or did you just see them from afar?
I saw them from afar. I watched all of you for a little while before I decided to make my approach.
What do you mean infected?
Infected with the spirits of the unsettled.
Ah,
Oh.
That happens to some of the creatures here.
Do you know anything about a giant invisible creature that seems to not like wolves a lot?
That he says, I myself have not encountered anything like that.
Okay. All right. Well, it's getting close to when we gotta go. And we still haven't gotten to Silas's second agenda item. But might I put forward whoever's going to ask the questions, tell us about who trapped you in the mirror and why, and what can you tell us about the bull? I don't know if we're going to get any more than that in the time we have.
Yeah, especially because we're going to be trying to read her reactions and what she's saying without hearing anything.
Who's going to ask the
no,
questions?
we can hear her at that point. For that minute, we can hear her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Who's gonna?
I'll ask the questions.
Okay. Who wants to keep track of the time? I don't know if I'm very good at
Let's
it.
watch.
Can we get DM help on how time?
DM will absolutely keep track of the time. Do you want to know before a minute's up? What do you?
Robin will keep track of the time and let them know the 30-second mark and the 15-second mark.
30 and 15 seconds.
Perfect.
Got it.
Oh, yeah, get those
I mean,
questions
that
out.
includes 45, right?
Yeah, the 30 and the 45.
So
30 seconds to go, 15
again,
seconds to
if
go.
we think we have our list, I don't know if we've confirmed this list. I know we have number 1 on the list, but item number 2 on the agenda, I genuinely believe we need to be out of there by the 45 mark. Like the 45 mark is the, abort mark, because it's going to take time to get out of that car and out of the train.
Okay. How do we want to get set up?
Like how we're going to walk in there, or what do you mean?
Well, Maeve, you're probably going to want to be at the front so that you can talk to Ivy if she's going to appear in the same place. Robin, you're going to want to be somewhere where we can all hear you, and the rest of us should just be ready to scram.
Do what we got to do.
I'm going to be a little closer.
And we should know what we're going to do next when it's time to go, because otherwise I'm just going to turn into a bull and lock horns again, because I want another chance at that, even though that's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, let's be clear. That is a horrible idea.
It's still an idea I have, though, and if I don't know something else to do, that's what I'm going to do. So what do we want to do? So
Neb is in the other car starting out, and we have a walkie-talkie.
No. Listen. Just let me know where you want me and what our escape plan is, and that's what we'll do.
All right. So how about Maeve and I will be in the room as shallowly as possible. Then Silas can be in the doorway, and and the rest of you can be outside in the hallway listening in, but ready to go.
Do we know we're going to be able to hear from outside the car?
You'll just be outside
last
the
time
room.
she came outside of the car. or not the car,
The
but
hall,
the
yeah.
room.
The room.
She was in the
We
hallway.
met in the hallway, and then we
Mhm.
needed to get out of the car
Yeah.
to get safe.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I guess I'm
did-
just saying I don't think she's going to stay in the room.
Oh, I agree with that. I mean, do we think being outside of the car, we will still be able to hear her?
If
Or
anything,
do we have to
happens.
be in the car to hear her?
I think people saw her last time at least. So it's not like the magic dissipates outside the car. I'm fairly certain that people from, I can't remember, is it the dining car that's like attached to that?
Yeah.
You saw, something like in the hallway before like that. But hearing, I don't know if the doors are open, maybe.
Mhm.
I mean, I
Sorry.
think it's fine for people to be at the car doors, like to still be inside the car here and then exit on, Frankenbeans at 45 seconds.
I mean, we have two
Okay.
exits. We have the going to the dining car and going to the baggage, so we don't all have to run out the same place.
Yeah, and we're not like rooted in place. If something happens or we can't hear, we can just take a step forward or backwards.
That we know of. I mean, like there might be magic that they can just stop us in our tracks. We don't know yet, but I think it's okay to operate that we should be able to move. Yes.
Come on, you guys. We've done things like this before. We've defeated monsters and beasts that are dangerous and scary. We can do
And-
this.
And we've done it with way less of a plan.
Yeah.
Okay, so the plan, as I understand it, is for Maeve and Robin to go into the room to have this conversation. Silas will be in the doorway. Neb and Fairuza, you'll be just in the hallway to ask this first question.
Wait,
And
I'm
then-
sorry.
go
No,
ahead.
we're gonna be. My plan was to be in
Yes.
to where she appeared the last time, which
In the
was
hallway.
in the hallway.
Okay, so you're all going to be in the hallway in that particular area that you've seen her appear before.
Yeah, some of us
Okay.
just very close to
To
exits.
the exits, but you'll all be in the car. Gotcha. Okay. You're going to ask questions and see how much information you can get until the 45-second mark, at which point everyone's going to abort.
Frankenbeans out. Yep.
Okay.
So where this room is situated, I can't. Is it completely in the middle of
No,
the car?
it's at one end of the car.
Yeah,
It's
and
closer to
so-
the baggage car.
Mhm.
So are we going to set it up where people are going the other side out the car the other way, or is everyone going to come out the one way?
Might I suggest that Maeve and Miss Robin go towards the baggage car, because that's the immediate exit that's right there, and the rest of us can be down the hall getting ready to go out the dining car exit, because that's a little further away.
Okay.
So give them the closer exit to where they're going to need to be.
How long is the car? One more time.
How long is the car?
Yeah, ish.
That I
have
don't
my
have on
notes
my
up.
map.
That's
I don't have that note. That
I
note
might
up.
have it.
Let's see.
You'll be able to get out in a round.
Okay, that's yeah. Okay, that answers my
You
question.
can get out in a round. Yeah.
Piven, would you like to join us, or are you going to hang out outside for this first one?
He looks and he's like, in what is it? In for a pound, in for a penny, or whatever. And he's like, I don't know where I got that saying.
I
from,
need to
but-
get you some better Éarte sayings, my man.
You can be with us over closer to the dining car.
Okay, so Neb he likes you. He's gonna hang out a little bit close to you. You guys had a good conversation. So yeah, he'll stay sort of by your feet.
If necessary, we will both just turn into rats and run.
All right. The time is drawing nearer
Whew.
as you all begin to set up, standing in the positions that you have mentioned. Robin, you have a watch of some kind,
Mm-hmm.
watching as the seconds tick by.
As we're all getting set up, as I pass by Maeve, I'm gonna give her a very light pat on the shoulder and say, I know you've got this. I know you've got all of this. And I'm gonna give her a lot of help. which is going to give you advantage on. I'm going to give you Owl's Wisdom. So you have advantage on wisdom checks. So you suddenly feel very much like if you ever wanted to figure out how someone is actually feeling, Neb is here to help with that.
Fantastic.
I appreciate that.
All right.
So
It is.
another thing, Silas is going to prepare
Yes.
an action, ready an action to, after Maeve asked the first questions, about 3 seconds after she asked the first question, he is going to attempt to read surface thoughts again.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. 212 clicks along. You all hold your breath just a little bit as it clicks over to 213 and the lights go out.
I hate that part.
A second later, you see her standing there in front of you. It's almost as though you blinked and there she was. As she stands there in her pale blue gown, her blood red lips, looking you right in the face, Maeve, just staring at each other as she looks and says, "Quick, I haven't much time."
Well, we're short on time, so we're going to do this quickly then. Who trapped you in the mirror and why?
She looks at you, she says, "Oh, the scribe. I went searching for him as soon as I found that the others were searching for access to Éarte. I was afraid of what they might do when I went in search of him. I thought he might be the key to our salvation. I found him many years later, and I told him and begged him for his help. He promised to help me, but they found us. Talrun, the king of Praxidiki. Thank you. Praxidiki, he especially will stop at nothing to destroy me. He is coming in just a moment's time."
That's the bull.
That's the bull. In a desperate attempt to save us, Julian cut a passage to Éarte. For a while there, we were safe, even happy. We fell in love. I almost left everything behind for him, but the weight of my people lay heavy on my shoulders. I decided I had to come back. Julian was helpless to deny my request. We came here, where the veil is thinnest. We tried numerous times, but Talrun was always there the second we stepped beyond the veil. Finally, we had the thought to try as the train is moving. Perhaps then we could thwart him. But Julian is young. He is a child of Éarte. He feels with his whole heart. And I didn't see what he was up to then. We crossed. The train erupted in flames. Talrun had found us after all. We had about a minute to spare. It was 2:13 in the morning. Before I could fight back, Julian threw his arms around me, taking the worst of the attack, told me he loved me, and muttered an ancient incantation. When the smoke cleared, I found myself trapped within the mirror, its glass shattered and the shards missing. Now, each night at 2:13, I am granted 1 minute of release before Talrun comes and finds me again. But if I stray or stay too long, he comes, and it is always destruction. Decades passed of nothing. I have seen no other living soul until you came along. Now go, before it is too late.
Do we have more time, or where are we on the clock?
You're close. You got maybe 10 seconds.
To the 45 or to the...
You've get to the 45. You're at like 35.
About 3 seconds into that, I attempted to read surface thoughts.
Absolutely.
So I'm
So
fine
we'll
to
pause.
sidebar that in a second.
We'll pause here for a second for your side thoughts. So you've got about 10 seconds left if you want to ask another question, see what you get. In your surface thoughts, you hear the repetition of "help me, save me, release me, I must find him, I must stop them."
Do I, through an insight check or whatever else, do I feel an authentic, love or pull there behind the thoughts?
Okay, we do an insight check. What is you want to roll it? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. You can do it.
Let's see. That is going to be dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Yes, love. Also loneliness. Also anger. Also fear. She is a roiling ball of contradictory feeling. And I'll even say, no, I can't say that. That's good.
What a tease. But yeah, okay.
If do you want to delve deeper with your
I will
wisdom
certainly
check?
try. Yes.
Okay. You want to give I do a wisdom saving throw?
Yes, that is going to be a DC of 14.
That is a 24. You
I expected that much.
You get no deeper feeling on that. It's chaos in there. The surface thoughts range from stop them, hurt them, find him, love him, miss him, lonely, want it, need it. She is just a boiling brain of thought that you can get. All right, moving back, Maeve, you've got 10 seconds. Robin?
Before we go back into time,
Okay.
I would like to try
Gotcha.
and do an insight check
Absolutely.
while that's all happening.
Go ahead.
So that'll be advantaged.
Advantaged? +1. Okay. You believe her. You believe the story is true. But you realize that while she is telling you the facts, the truth of what happened, not that she's being vague, but that there's that she is obscuring something. But you're not sure you're not sure why she's holding back, but you can feel she's holding back a little something.
Is there a particular thing that I'm sensing that she's holding back around?
I would say mostly around Toleran, around this fire king.
Okay.
When she mentions him, you can feel she wants to say more, but she holds back. Good to go back into time?
Yes.
Okay.
What do you plan to... This is 10 seconds before the 45, right?
Before the 45, yes.
What do you plan to do when you're out?
I will find them. I will stop them. And I will save my people. Now run!
And time.
As I'm running, which him? As I'm running, I yell,
Frank and
"Which him?"
Beans.
With him. As she does, she turns and you can see kind of coming like through the room out towards her is this smoke of this creature that begins to kind of, absorb around her head, not yet attacking, but beginning to approach. And as she looks at you, you just see in her eyes that she means this. But she spins on the spot, practically again disappearing as she steps into that room again. You hear horrible noises, screams and screeches, burning flames within the sound of that as you all begin to exit the car and move away as again the lights flicker. With the last 15 seconds, you just hear the screams and agony and violence within that room. As soon as the clock turns to 2:14, as you watch from outside, the lights flicker and come back on.
I'm never going to get used to that.
Do you guys feel better after that
Occasional.
at all?
Better in what way?
Do you feel like something's been resolved inside of you hearing her answer regarding how she got trapped in the mirror? Or do you feel even more confused, scared, worried?
I'm not more confused than I was before. I don't think I'm more scared. I think we've got more answers,
Yeah.
at least now that a lot of this is making sense in as much as this place makes sense. So
I don't
She's
know.
scared.
Wouldn't you be?
Something's
And I-
not right.
And as I walk in, I go, I know lawyers. There's a bit of creative obfuscation happening there.
In what way?
The tolerant, whoever that is, there's something else there.
I
Couldn't
was
guess
able
who.
to pick up something that time. Just scanned. I couldn't go deeper, but definitely fear, concern, drive. I think that there was, something. It was kind of like a boiling maelstrom of thoughts and emotions, but there's a lot of anger there. Definitely picked up on anger.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that thoughts kept going back to finding him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if the him in this situation is Julian or
It must be.
Talrin. It could be Talrin though, because there could be some vengeance there with the anger that I was picking up on. So I
Maybe,
guess what
but-
I'm saying is I scan some emotions there that still do not give me warm fuzzies.
Well,
Do you get any kind of psychic damage from going into like strange minds like that?
I don't know. I haven't experienced that yet, so we'll see.
well, I can't blame her for being angry. I mean, how long has she been trapped in that mirror, unable to talk to anybody and being stalked every night by that bull thing? I mean, that's horrifying.
Yeah, it all seems so like just, I don't know, fantastic like everything else, but like here it is, her lover, someone she loved tried to save her, so he put her in a mirror breaks, and now it's like unending Sisyphean torture, I guess.
So let's just quickly
Hmm.
recount what happened, just to try and parse this for ourselves.
DM will help.
Yes, please. 'Cause could not write and ask the
Of
questions all at the
course.
same time.
Mhm.
So I have the scribe was searching when my notes are really jumbled. Scribe was searching when others looked. He might be the key tolerant kings of Praxidoki.
I will help. Maeve and the others, you were all paying attention. So we'll
Mhm.
say that with conversation and being able to sort of grab little bits and pieces together, it's almost like we're doing a group intelligence check kind of thing, a group
Okay.
memory check. But I feel pretty strongly that you all could have pulled some things. So the main pieces here was that she's saying she left because she knew the others were searching for Éarte, and she thought the scribe could help stop them. So she went in search of the scribe. She found him. He promised to help, but that she was constantly being hunted by the other rulers. Talrun, the king of Praxidoki, especially, who she has now named as your smoke bowl creature.
Wait, I'm so sorry. She left because the others were searching for Éarte, so she went to find the scribe. He promised to help,
Mhm.
and then
But this whole time, they're being stalked by the other rulers who are trying to stop her. So he says, in a desperate attempt to save them, the scribe cut a passage to Éarte. It's the only place where the other rulers can't come. For a while, they were safe, happy, they fell in love, but she felt she had to come back and continue this quest to save her people, save her world. He loves her so much, he was powerless to resist. They came here, where the veil is thin, to make these attempts. But every time they tried, there was Talrun. Now, she is millennia old, has seen many things die, seen much misery. Julian is young. He is a child of Éarte. He rules with his heart, and it was hard for him to watch her suffer. She did not realize this until it was too late. They attempted to cross through the veil on the moving train, hoping that that would throw Talrun off their tracks. It didn't work. It took him a minute to find them. When he did, Julian threw his arms around her, took the brunt of the attack, spoke an incantation which trapped her in the mirror. When she woke up, when next she knew, this is her story, the mirror was shattered and everyone was gone. She doesn't know what happened to Julian. She doesn't know anything beyond that until you all came and opened the door.
So a couple of things that are strange
And that
here
and that
to me.
every night at 2:13 she's granted 1 minute of release, but if she stays too long or strays, Tolerant comes.
Can I interject real quick,
Yes.
Jen, just because I want to clarify something that I think I missed. They were trying to get back to her realm.
They're trying to get back to the Veil, just to get back here.
Just to get to the
fight
Veil.
the good fight.
And then, got it. Okay. Go ahead, Jen, sorry.
Couple of things. So Julian was a child of Éarte. So how did she get through when no one else could? That's odd.
She didn't say where. She said that he cut a passage to Éarte for them, but he's a scribe. He can be in any world.
One of us might be a scribe.
But she found him. But what I'm wondering is,
she didn't say she found him in Éarte.
Right, but if he's a child of Éarte, how would he have gotten here? Like that just.
She didn't say.
Right, she didn't say. I'm just I'm just flagging pieces.
Yeah.
That seem weird. And then
she didn't say, but I mean maybe it's the same way we did or anybody does, you know, if he's got this power to be a scribe and then got on a train. I mean, he was the one who was enamored with the train and had bought the whole thing and you know, so maybe that's how he found his way to the Veil and that he had powers or maybe this is all a question we ask tomorrow. I don't know. But
and where would he learn the incantation? Back in our world. Seems strange.
I mean, we don't know if he didn't spend time elsewhere before. Like, I think there are gaps in the story.
It's
like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying is just
are the gaps in the
just
story.
for accounting though, like, I mean, she had 40 seconds, you know, to tell the story. So I'm just saying that might have been like, you know, there were entire moments like she could have taught him the incantation when they were living on Earth, and you know, out to dinner or something somewhere.
Also, how did we learn any of the stuff that we've learned how to do?
Fair.
I'm not saying those are good questions to flesh out the story, but yeah, I think this is some of it is like Silas said, we only had 40 seconds, and some of it is like you said, maybe she's being careful about what she says. I mean, the last thing she heard from us was us wondering about if she was not a good person.
I mean, we're all wondering it.
I know, but I'm saying, you know, that would be reason enough for her to want to tell her story, but also maybe be guarded about it.
I think it's reasonable to believe that we're going to fill in some blanks here and there. I think others would definitely be a little dangerous to just fill in ourselves.
Also, she's quite the cougar.
What happened?
She's a cougar.
Who?
Ivy.
Millennia old.
Millennia and a young earthling. Earthling.
I was like, who? Oh, I didn't think of that. Wait a second. She is kind of. All right. Go ahead.
You get it, girl.
So he took rulership on, which is odd.
Say again?
He became a ruler. She talked about him ruling with his heart.
Oh, okay.
That might have been just a turn of phrase, though.
That's the way I read it.
Like, I'm ruled by my impulses.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. In a rush, you'd think that she'd... I don't know. That seems like an instinctual type of thing to say. Especially if you come from a monarchy. You tend to not say someone rules it.
I don't know. People call LeBron James the king, and he clearly is not.
Well, maybe
again, you're not from a monarchy, my friend.
Maybe that's a specific question for another night. It's just tell us about Julian. And
I'm just taking the post-its and putting them on the story. That's all I'm doing.
no, this is good. This is good. Well, it's
The
fresh in
red
our minds.
string and the push pins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We've turned the
start
entire
now.
Maeve's
dining
home
car.
landing.
Oh gosh. Ay.
Oh boy. Wow.
But okay, so then I'm gonna just throw this out there. Let me see if there's a good.
Throw it.
Now I'm trying to figure out what the best way for me to come at this is for it to make sense. In untangling the threads of the story and trying to piece them back together, are there particular things, while I'm strengthened by Neb's confidence in me and the group working together,
Yes.
that are flagging as particularly odd? We've established that there's something around Talrand and that's something we need to look into. But are there
Fantastic.
other things in her story that are just like not adding up or seeming like they're gaps in the process?
Yeah, go ahead and roll. Let's roll an investigation on that.
Okay, I'm actually going to let you do that.
Okay.
So I have a +3. That's intelligence, so it won't
Yeah,
get any.
Won't get the
bumps from
special thing,
anything.
yeah, because this is sort of looking Sherlock Holmesing her story. +3, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Unless somebody else would prefer to try and untangle threads.
I feel like narratively it makes the most sense for Maeve to be asking that question.
So the big holes in her story where presumably she doesn't know what happened is going to be the time that she was in Éarte with Julian, when they were living happily, when she considered possibly even giving up her life elsewhere. You don't know what's happening in the Vale, the other worlds for her in that time period. The other time period that she did not elaborate on, that is a big hole in her story, is the time she's in the mirror. So after Julian sends her there, her belief is that he was foolishly trying to protect her, to lock her up, to keep her safe.
Yeah.
But there are decades now that she has been in the mirror. She did not or cannot elaborate on what happened to Julian, what happened to the train, what happened in the Vale or in any of these worlds during that time. So that is another huge block of time that she has not or cannot elaborate on. Beyond that, as you sort of recount it and think through it, it seems to make logical sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
That, as these worlds began to crumble, she left, giving up her immortality to try and find a solution. But it flags for you that she is now claiming to be the only good ruler.
That's it.
And you have only her word for it.
One more time, that she is the only good ruler?
That is, from the
That's
story that Pivum told you, and that you sort of understand, was that all of them kind of began to sort of become covetous of each other. Now,
Are you
these
a
are
good shot or a bad
yes,
shot?
these are stories, right? The stories that you know from Earth that you have encountered here are not word for word perfect, exactly the same. So there is room for wiggle in there, but that flags for you that this is, in her words, she's claiming that the others are the problem and not her.
So, hey, Pivum,
Mm-hmm.
What'd you think about that, buddy? Was that like, I don't know, what kind of vibe did you get from Ivy?
he says, I can see why you trust her.
Do you think Zola would be after, is Zola nicer than Ivy, do you think?
Zola is to be feared and revered.
That tells me a lot.
Ivy, Ivy feels as though she pulls you in.
Oh,
Like a tide.
So yeah, maybe she wants to like pull everyone together or something.
Or just pull us all
Perhaps.
into her elaborate trap.
He says, this is the question.
Yeah.
But I see why you like her. I see how she shines. I see why people would follow her, help her, save her. I can see why why the scribe would have trouble resisting her charms, her persuasions.
Well, then maybe I'm also having that trouble too, because I feel like she's at least telling us the truth about everything. And we know she spent a very long time both in Éarte with Julian, and then also trapped in that mirror. And so it's very possible before all that happened, before she left to go find the scribe, that she was doing bad things, whatever it was, or was covetous of the other rulers. But I would like to think that falling in love and suddenly having your world in danger might change a perspective.
And I love that about you, Neb.
But didn't Julian suddenly dramatically change? Didn't he abandon someone? And
he was working on the train. Like his whole focus became this train.
Yes, he gave up his life as a magnate in the big city because he was, he fell in love, he got married, and he devoted the rest of his life and his money to this train and being up here in this part of the world.
We got to find this silver box.
Oh.
And what about the love letters that we have?
Maybe there's some clues in them. Have we read them all?
I'm not reading all that.
Oh boy.
Unless I can magically download it into my mind somehow. I haven't tried that yet.
I don't mind reading them. I think it's romantic.
Silas, have you ever tried just sleeping on a bunch of letters? You learn through osmosis.
I mean, yeah, unfortunately that doesn't work. But, it didn't work in Éarte, but perhaps it works here in the Vale.
You won't know until you try.
But just go with me here because, a lot of movies, a lot of media I consume. So I'm just saying, so if Ivy is trapped in a mirror that's now broken and there's no way, out of the trap, what if whatever this silver box is, maybe Tall Man? What is it? Tallman? Tallrun. Okay. What if that guy is trapped in a silver box somewhere on this train and that's why he's tethered here? I'm just saying, this silver box becomes far more intriguing to me now.
And it wasn't before?
I mean, I just thought it was werewolves before, but
I mean, Silas, it could still be werewolves.
I mean, it could be. Either way, I think we need to find it because, I think we've been all over this train and we don't know of any hidden, safe or box.
Not yet, but Maeve hasn't dug up the floor in every single one of these train cars yet.
Maybe that's what we do now.
Well, I don't know if we want to do it now. Now it is kind of late, but
yeah, I mean, we just got up not too long ago, but I also kind of want to get back on the right schedule.
Well,
Because I would rather
looks-
adventure during the day, I think is what I'm ultimately saying.
Definitely. Well, it doesn't look like we're leaving the Vale anytime soon.
Well, 2 more stops, right? There's no reason why it can't be soon. It's taken us 10 days to get through the
Yeah.
first 3,
Yeah.
but we've
But my
learned
faith
so
in
much.
everything has been shook now, though, because it's like if we put these 5 shards in there, we might
Yeah.
be releasing Ivy, but I don't know if that necessarily means that we're getting back home.
I don't know about that either, but that's the next step, right? And then
Yeah. And it's
finding
sort of
out.
the assumption that we've been
The next
living.
step in her plan of total domination.
Well, whether it is or not, the next
Oh,
step
no.
in bringing the 4 worlds into balance is having her not be in a mirror anymore, and us finding a scribe, whether it's Julian or some new person, means
Yeah.
we need to get her out of that mirror
So
and find out what
Pivum,
happened to
Tries it.
Julian.
to clarify Pivum though, like
Mhm.
we just have one scribe. Like that's what the legends said.
One
But
scribe
there's-
per generation. While a scribe lives, there are no others.
It's like the Avatar. All right.
So if he's,
Yeah,
he's still
yeah.
alive, we gotta find him, and if he's not, then we gotta find the new one.
It might be one of us.
The new one.
I
Maeve,
think
you've
Think
got
of
that
that.
letter opener. Can you just cut through the world?
Oh.
Let's see. I pull it out of my pocket and I go,
Oh, be careful.
nope. And I put it
I
back
do a
up.
minor illusion. When she does that move,
Damn.
Silas does a minor illusion, making it look like a little 5-foot, kind of traced with her thing is starting to open up and a little bit of a whoosh of sound.
Ooh. Pivum claps his hands. He goes, "Oh, you're all a barrel of fun."
Oh, wait till
Now
you
you
hang
see
out
how we
with
get
us.
nothing done.
Wait till you hang out with us for 10 more days. You might change your opinion on things, but thank you. All right. I mean, maybe it is one of us. We just have to figure out how to cut through worlds. That can't be too hard, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I was thinking that if Ivy breaks out and tries something, it's not like we just can't attempt to take her.
Oh, you're just going to take her down. I like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Silas. I'm going to take her.
Fairuza's muscles glisten in the moonlight.
I did 32
So-
push-ups last night.
I did 132, Silas. And you didn't even notice, but one of them I was holding you for, okay?
Fairuza, if there's anybody that could take Ivy single-handed, it would be you. But I think once we free her, we're also going to have to contend with Talrun. So I think things might be slightly more complicated than
Two
just...
rulers.
But maybe we can trust her and she's going to help us fight Talrun. And we're going to go to her realm and eat
And become her
cupcake and
subjects.
tea. And yeah.
Drink tea.
Tomorrow morning, I'll try to
Use
make
the water
cupcakes for
rule.
you.
What does Robin think of this? They turn around and look at Robin. What do you think of all of this? You've been sort of standing there with this look on your face like you know something we don't, or you sense something we don't.
I'm just taking it in and enjoying your banter.
Well, I
Robin,
think
were
that's
you
all we
ever-
can do.
Robin, were you ever a private investigator or a detective or a mystery novel writer or some other job that would help with putting together a mystery?
Or did you watch a lot of Scooby-Doo?
or Murder She Wrote. Did you ever watch any of that? I saw a bunch of that.
Angela Lansbury. What
How
a
great is
fuck.
Jessica Fletcher did it.
Oh, that's great.
She's the world's most successful serial killer.
That's awesome.
That's my headcanon.
I love it. Well, I think that's all we can do, you guys, is work under the assumptions that we've been working under and use the new information as we can and just keep doing what we're doing. I don't think we can be scared of Ivy now.
I think that we need to find, don't get me wrong, I don't have any idea of where to start with this. But, identifying who did scribble our initials into stone, which sounds like a scribing type activity to me, to be honest.
Sounds like a scribey activity.
But it's like, who expected us to be in the bottom of that dumb mine? Like, why did they expect us to be there? Like, what is all this destiny stuff happening? Because if we can figure out who did that, because I don't think that was Ivy. Are we in alignment on that? Like, if Ivy's been trapped, unless it was there a long time ago.
Maybe
like-
it's Julie. Maybe Julian's leaving a legacy, laying out for the next who come.
And making it difficult enough so that it's not just anybody who comes along and stumbles across this mirror, or making it difficult enough so that if one of the rulers came by, they wouldn't just be able to put the shards back together.
Am I remembering wrong? But when we were in Mirror Ivy discussion, we asked if Zola was here in the Veil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we got an affirmative to that, correct?
Yes.
All
that
four,
Yeah.
All of
They're
them.
all here.
but she doesn't know where
The
that
wind.
And Pivum, like you don't, like, you haven't come across Zola while you've been here. Is there any kind of, like, I don't know, like, prayer that you say to a Zola, or some kind of, like, salute or something?
He laughs. He
Yes.
says, "You believe Zola would listen to a little bandicoot such as myself?"
Now listen, I'm not gonna have that right there, Crash, because, like, you are something, and Zola should feel honored.
His little apple cheeks get even redder.
He's cute.
He says, oh, he goes, "The Veil is an enormous place."
Oh, it's bigger than we thought.
I thought it was just like a train track.
This is, he goes, this is one place where passage is possible, but I have seen the Veil goes on and on. She could be anywhere, and Zola, her most impressive ability is to blend in with the land. She could be sitting 5 feet from us. That mountain could be Zola, and you would not know.
That's comforting, Pivum. Thank you.
You're welcome.
maybe she caused the avalanche that
Also,
maybe she caused the avalanche that got us here in the first place.
So do rulers all have different powers and things? They have their own powers, basically, then?
oh, of course, the rulers are all known to be quite powerful, magical, experienced, strategic. And they all have their special set of skills.
Like us.
I wonder if we have a special title here that we just don't know yet.
You mean beyond being children of Éarte? That you want another
Yes.
title?
Yes.
What other title would you like, Fairuza?
I don't know, something that describes what we're doing. We're attempting to set things straight, I feel like. I think you mentioned yesterday that we've found our purpose. Maybe there is something else.
Like the Dragonborn.
I like it.
Fus Roda.
I mean,
No?
and
Skyrim? No?
I mean, now I just want to turn into a
Miravar.
dragon, but more importantly for Fairuza,
Yes.
they call them heroes, right? You read any of those stories?
They do.
Yeah.
You think we're heroes?
Heroes of the
Maybe we're
Veil.
heroes?
Pivum jumps up onto the back as he looks to each of you and he
Here's his
says,
hair.
"As of this moment here in the history of all worlds, I look down upon a group of heroes of the Veil. I dub thee."
And there came from a bandicoot that it must be true, right?
And thus we are twice named.
Beautiful.
He says, may this honorific follow you, and may those that you come upon speak it in reverence, and may it evolve as you grow.
And may you
hey,
stop
Crash,
saying
I feel
you
like I
and-
can't get away from it.
May you stop saying you as though
Follow us for the rest of our days.
because you're a part of this too.
He smiles a sheepish little grin. He says, I feel my job is to walk you through the phase, your time in the veil, and what I pass you on to, and who you will become at that point. I believe my job will be done.
Pivum. You seek Pivum.
Well, if you're not going to call yourself a hero, then I'll call you a sage because I'd love to learn as much as I can from you. I also think I'd love to get some sleep because there's been a lot that's happened
You
today.
see Pivum.
Yeah.
Makes a big
Yeah, we
wide
did a lot
yawn.
today. That's true.
He says, tell me this contraption has comfy, soft beds. It's been so long since I've slept in anything
So many
civilized.
towels, too, Pivum.
Towels! I'll make a nest.
Do you have showers in your world?
He goes, showers? You mean from the sky?
No,
It
you
is
gotta check this
Showers
out.
of rain? No?
Significant showers.
It's like artificial rain.
He says, that sounds terrifying. Artificial rain.
It's like,
And
thanks.
if you're quick enough, there's still enough warm water when you get in there. Depends on how many of your siblings you have to fight
It's like
before you get in
bottled
there.
hot rain.
The wonders of Éarte. You have created rain from nothing. I knew you were magical folk.
I mean,
Show
that was more
me.
Julian.
This magical shower.
Hey, right this way. I've got plenty extra towels. But you know, you're gonna have to take it in someone else's. Like, I'll give you the towels from my room. I still got a window problem going on in my room, and so I really need to fix that. But
Oh, that's right. Your window. We didn't patch that up for you.
no, like, we haven't had time.
Robin, you're able to fix things. Can you fix his mirror, his window?
I mean, it's a big fix, but I sure will try. I was once a window cleaner, so it's gotta be just the same,
That's
right?
definitely
You know
applicable.
what?
Oh, yeah.
Does that mean when you fix it, it'll be spotless clean as well?
Sparkly clean,
Yeah.
crystal clear.
Well, it looks like we have a lot to do tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after.
Are you planning on, if you're going to nap or sleep, is this a watched sleep? Are you going to trust and just take a rest? What is your plan here?
I mean, honestly, everyone, I don't think I'm ever gonna sleep again without a watch. So, like, even if we make it back to safety, whatever that means, like, I'm gonna be like hiring a security guard with all my bunches of money. And
Do you want
just,
the train running? Do you want to keep the train stopped? Do you want to be on your way? What's your...
I'd like to be on our way. Don't you think we've exhausted this place?
Yeah, but how? Like, can we keep things running with just like a couple of people at a time?
2 people can run the
A
train.
Okay.
greaser and a stoker? No.
Yeah.
So sure, let's
Engineer
maybe
and a stoker, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
we
maybe
don't.
just have watches do that. Pivum, do you mind pitching in for one of the
It's like the
shifts?
size of a
You guys
Where we can
gargoyle.
have where we can have an
Happy
even 6,
to.
right?
Happy
Yeah.
to, yes. But if it's all right, I shall sleep now.
Okay.
A-okay.
You're good.
Right after this hot rain.
Hot rain. Do you turn it on for him?
Yeah.
You turn it on. He literally does like a dance.
Is he naked?
You can
Guys,
take your clothes
Guys!
off first.
No, he's
Wait a minute.
completely soaked. You see he sort of dances in it, and he takes off his boots and begins to splash in the puddles on the tile beneath. He goes, "This is strange magic."
Have you ever heard of soap?
And he
Rude.
goes, I believe we have herbs and fats from animals in Lorelia that we can create a lather. This we call this a soap.
Excellent. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing.
Ah, wonderful.
So that's
we
right
use
there.
it, once or twice a year is enough.
Once or twice a day.
Okay.
All you do,
Something
we
like
work in the garden all the time. We're just, if you clean yourself, you're only going to get dirty again in the next day.
That's true.
Why
That's true.
waste your time?
Yeah.
Well,
to
when
be
you have
fair-
hot rain bottled up artificially, it's a lot easier than going down to the river. So
Yeah. It's interesting, Pivum, but back where we're from, your type are revered by us. Like we make little statuettes of you and put them in our homes.
Because little
We
little
do.
little bandicoot like me,
yeah, you protect our gardens.
and
this
stuff
is what
like
we
that.
do. We do. We love the gardens. We protect them. We watch over the gardens so that all of the animals, the wild, beautiful creatures of Lorelia have a place to eat and rest and be safe. And we tend the land and the gardens. We keep
No,
them
man, you're
safe.
supposed to keep the rabbits out of the garden.
Yeah.
Oh, the garden is for the rabbits. We invite them in. We prune the bushes so that they may feast.
This sounds like one of those things in where the stories got a little muddled between worlds.
Yeah. But still,
But it sounds nice.
nice to meet one
Absolutely.
in person.
So we're gonna leave, and you can take the wet clothes off if you'd like, and finish up. And I don't know if you have a change of clothes. Probably not. I've got many t-shirts, way more t-shirts than I'm supposed to. I don't think it's gonna fit you, but if you want to tie it off, here I'll leave a couple of things here.
Okay. He immediately starts stripping, zero shame. His whole body is covered in curly white hair. Even naked, you see he's very not naked. He's covered in kind of a little bit of a fur all over his body. It's almost as if really only his eyes and cheeks and lips are really the only thing that is flesh is exposed about him. He's a little kind of yeti.
So Pivum, just one other thing. Have you ever heard of a drain?
A drain on energy on.
Well, no, there's one at the bottom of the hot rain.
Oh, I
that
see. He puts his face right down. Towards
Yeah.
it.
So when you finish up in here, you probably need to make sure that any hair that collects on the drain, take that and throw that in the trash over here, where the hot rain will keep working the way it needs to.
Understood. He grabs one of the t-shirts or one of the washcloths or towels or anything that you left. He grabs and he goes, and he begins to just wipe it himself and sing a little song.
Are we all just sitting here being an
You're just
audience to
watching.
this?
I mean,
I think he's preoccupied.
He's a foot tall, covered in fur, just prancing around underneath this artificial magic rain as he tries to clean
the
himself.
simple wonders, and then
He sits
Silas
down.
walks off.
He sits down, his toes, his feet, are very dirty once he's taken his boots off, and he starts cleaning between his toes, and you just see the water running down the drain is dark with dirt.
Oh boy. Maybe we can make him a little outfit to put on, something cute. I don't know. What am I talking about? Ignore me.
I mean, he said that he survived out here in the Vale for years. So I think if anyone can teach us anything about making things to survive on, it's going to be him.
That's definitely true, being that he's like the size of. Wait, how tall is he again? He's like
a foot tall. He's
he's
a gnome. He looks.
There's
almost
someone shorter than
exactly.
me.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
The teeniest little thing.
Oh, I can't step on him. Make sure I look out for him. Be
He
checking
might
the
be
bottom of my
hollow,
shoes.
careful.
All right.
While this is all going on tonight, I'd like to browse the bookshelves again.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are you looking for something specific?
Just anything that sort of would align with any of the new things that we've heard about, or anything around Belcastle Cap.
Okay, great. Investigation check.
Investigation.
Yeah, investigation.
Dirty 20.
Okay. So nothing is popping up about any of what Ivy has told you. All of that, the books and things within there. The only thing that you find that relates to Belcastle Cap at all is a memoir from a mountaineer. He doesn't specifically talk about Belcastle Cap, but he does talk about his treks through, climbing Everest or, doing these sort of snowy glacial kind of treks. It is in narrative form, so it would require like close reading in order to pick up the tips. But yes, it has some information about the type of things and situations you might find in glacial mountaineering.
Can I, to help out a little bit with that, can I hunt down one of the brochures that we were given? That I'm sure it only has like a little thing about what Belcastle Cap is, but what did the brochure say?
So the brochure says that you're going to take a hike along the edge of the glacier, that it is, miles in circumference, and that the views from this spot are spectacular, that you might spot some Arctic wildlife. You might see some foxes, you might see some rodents, you might see birds. I think that actually they mention many birds of prey, that that this is an excellent place to spot hunting patterns of birds of prey. So presumably that was going to be your excursion.
Does it say anything about us taking a trail, or was there like a campsite or anything?
No campsite, a trail that goes around the circumference of the glacier. So around the rim. A glacier is like a crater almost kind of thing. So the trail sort of takes you all the way around the rim of that glacier.
I'll show this to everybody as everybody's doing whatever they're doing, but I guess at least to Maeve and say, well, I guess once we get there, we're taking a hike.
Up a glacier.
Again?
Or around. I don't know if we're going up, but definitely around. Unless we find something when we arrive that's going to point us in a better direction.
Might I suggest then that we equip ourselves for cold and for hiking?
Well, that's what we were supposed to be doing. So there's probably hiking equipment in the other car.
You mean like the boots that sort of stick themselves into the ice and?
Oh yeah, those boots with like the little spiky bits on them.
Yeah.
Robin, have you ever gone hiking with those boots that have the little sticky bits on them?
Yes, of course. If I were to dig through my thoughts, I could say I've got a handful of times when I've gone to see the northern lights in Iceland and the glaciers there, and but I won't bore you with those types of stories.
Those aren't boring at all. Please tell me everything. And suddenly Nem looks very awake again. Do you think we'll be far enough north that we'll see the northern lights here?
I don't think we're quite far enough north, unless, we've just had a huge EMP from the sunburst from the sun. If it was too powerful, then yes, you'll see the northern lights farther down south. But I think we're not going to see anything unless.
I mean, this is a completely wild place with magic all over it. So
that's true.
I mean, we might see the northern lights, or we might see just unicorns. Yeah.
In the distance, Pibham's singing has stopped. You now hear softly through the closed door to Silas's room.
I guess
and there we are again.
Guess I'm not working on that window, right?
Cute. What are you going to do,
So much
Silas?
noise for one so small.
I'll be fine. I lived with someone for years that actually snored like a sawmill, so I'll be fine.
Well,
What do you guys?
we're gonna
Need a watch?
yeah
Okay,
pair
yeah.
off,
We'll
do
set
some
up watches, I guess.
At least keep the train running overnight. I don't know if
Yeah.
I don't know if Maeve is the only person who really knows how to drive this thing, right?
Well, I mean, like at
Engineer,
least to get
yeah.
it going, right? After getting it going, it's kind of stays on the track for the most part, right?
Well, you're all really in trouble when I get gutted at the next event.
Well, let's not
Walking around
get
the glacier.
gutted, but
You're all going to be in deep trouble when those birds of prey get to me. It's going to
We'll
be a
protect
shame.
you, Maeve.
you're irreplaceable, Maeve. But
Yeah.
in the event that the raptor does gut you, perhaps you can, give us a little crash course.
Oh my god.
Of
I'm not
course, I'm
crashing.
crashing.
In case something gets you out there. No,
And
we're gonna-
I will do my best to
Okay.
show
Well,
other
we'll
people.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Let's say it's going to take a little bit of time and a little bit of like hands-on practice. So let's say whoever you do your watch with, that person
Mhm.
can spend those hours watching you, trying and learning. So basically, one person, if they want to dedicate those hours, they can learn
To learning.
with the watch with you.
So that means that we are only going to tonight be able to make it,
Only one
2 hours
person.
down the track.
Well, or
Yeah.
I mean, 2 to 4, depending on with your watches. But yeah, so you can, but you only if Maeve is driving, whoever is on watch with her can learn.
And then that person just has to stay up
They
the
could
2
stay up
other
and
hours
keep
potentially.
going.
Okay, got
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
Or they go to sleep and we park the train for a little bit, and now we've got 2 people the next.
I mean,
next
but we
time
can
we-
keep somebody stoking the fire, though.
Yes, the
Yeah,
To keep the heat
Poker.
and
You
all
just
that.
need 2
driver.
people, one person who
Mhm.
knows what they're doing with the controls.
Do we know approximately how far it is from here to the station at Belcastle Cap?
This I don't believe there's any information on for you.
Okay.
The map is fairly fanciful. It's definitely more for funsies than it is to scale.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not entirely sure this time. Gloria never mentioned how far this particular stop was. Okay. Do you want to set up your watches?
Yeah, let's set them up while we're thinking about it.
Okay. So you're started, the train has been warmed up, it's going.
Yes.
It's ready to run if Maeve, you want to take the first watch.
Sure.
I think that we need to just, on the next several nights, at least nights we're on the train, everybody needs to take a turn learning from somebody how to do the
Smart
train.
idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. I mean,
Well-
it's a. Go ahead.
Who wants to be first?
Who wants to
I
ride
don't
with
mind.
Maeve?
You don't. Oh, you want to be first, Silas?
No, that's
Oh, you
not
don't.
it.
Oh.
It's like who wants to say grace over the meal? And then-
Oh, that's not it. Okay. I don't mind learning first.
Okay, so
But then
Fairuza
someone else to soak. Then someone
will
else to
go
stoke them.
with Maeve. You will stoke while you learn how to, run the train. Who wants to take second shift?
I'll take second shift.
Okay, Neb. Pivum's going to go last.
Okay, so that sounds like I'm with
Silas, you
Neb
could be
then.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Wait, how many?
Yeah,
do
do you
we
want to
have?
be with me or you want to be with Pivum or
Robin and Silas.
Well,
you're the
Robin,
last
I
two
was
to
already
pick.
counting Robin that she always wants to go last. So
Okay, so
if
Robin
that's not
will
the
go
case, then that's
Piven.
Okay.
Okay.
but I can be with Neb, yeah.
And Silas. All right.
Wait, so I'm
Uh,
sorry. Silas is going with whom?
With Neb. So first shift is Maeve and Fairuza. Second
Mhm.
watch is Neb and Silas. Third watch is Pivum and Robin. Oh, that's an exciting one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. So as the rest of you, Neb, Silas, and Robin, you can go to your rooms. You can go to the
Dining
lounge
car.
dining car, wherever you'd like to be to settle in for the night.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'll take a quick shower because
Okay.
Fairuza and I have been greasing, so I'm
Before
convinced she's probably
Yes,
still just disgusting.
You're all pretty greasy and
Yeah.
sooty from your time. Okay, great. You can go to your rooms, and then Maeve and Fairuza, you make your way to the engine cabin and start up the train.
Learning how to do it.
And you're watching and learning as this goes along. It's a beautiful, clear night. This storm has just moved through and swept all of the clouds away. It is clear and still. The train is noisy as it chugs forward. But every once in a while, you see a little bit of maybe a rabbit along the side hopping as it follows the train. As it begins to turn around the crest, moving away from the shore and heading on inland. And for once, we will stop there with our episode this evening. No major cliffhanger. You all have earned it.
Yay!
With just dreams of glaciers in your future.
Yes. Oh my
Thank you all
God.
so much for being here and playing
Oh my
this
God.
evening.
It's been so much fun.
And thank you all at home. And please remember that life itself is the most wonderful fairy tale. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, everyone.